welcome to the Elements of Improv. I'm Andy.
I'm Karen.
And we are Defiant Monkey Improv. We are here providing you a series of improv-related tips and suggestions and all sorts of philosophies and things like that, gleaned from our years of experience.
Gleaned.
Yes. Today, we are going to be talking about story.
Broadly, which doesn't just mean me.
Yeah, I see.
That's not what that means.
Oh, all right. There are things in here that we're going to be talking about in more detail in later videos. So we're going to be touching upon them broadly.
We do theatrical improv, which is what we call it.
Yeah.
Because we are not timed. We don't have to conform to any timing. We're just two people. We do a two-person show, so we don't have a bunch of other improvisers. And we focus a lot on storytelling. But we've both been in other groups. And I know for a fact that no matter what kind of group you're in, if you can improve your storytelling, you can improve whatever kind of group you're in. You can elevate those scenes. Even if there's a game on them, you can elevate them. They can be better with story. Now, understanding that some games will totally run over it and change it, that is still okay. It will still be better if you practice good storytelling techniques and absorb them.
Yes. Games make scenes funny, and a story makes scenes entertaining. So it's always good to, at least in the back of your head, think about good storytelling techniques to make your scenes more interesting to the audience.
Yes, and more memorable as a scene. When we have a really good scene, we will always remember that, you know? It's like, if it was really, really good, it's like we will tell each other the story later. And if you have a scene and afterwards you ask, what did we just do? And you can't really say. I mean, I know afterwards you kind of forget, but if you're like, this happened, and then for some reason this guy came in, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, then it's just a series of things you thought of that fell out of your head, and it wasn't really connected in a story. But if you could practice some things and make your story better, like who to follow, who is your main character, and have everybody else help support that. You can cut to other places. You can cut ahead in time or backwards in time. Even though those are separate games, you can still do that. As long as it's all supporting whatever that main character's story is.
It really helps to identify a protagonist in your story.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you will be the protagonist. Sometimes you have to let the focus go to one of the other improvisers in the scene and be willing to do that.
Yep. And actually, it's kind of fun. Well, there's only two of us. So if Andy is the main character, I am everybody else.
She gets to screw with me.
If I'm the main character, then Andy is everybody else. Unless we cut and are two different people somewhere.
Yeah.
We portray everybody. The other thing, a nice basic way to get into making sure that you're storytelling is to have a quest. That is a good basic storytelling technique.
Yeah, have something that you're looking for, someone you're looking for. Look up the term MacGuffin in terms of movies and such, especially with things like Rise of Skywalker, which had multiple MacGuffins all over the place.
We had to get a MacGuffin to get another MacGuffin.
Yeah, a MacGuffin is something you have to get in a story to do something.
Yeah.
So they had to find those stupid wayfinders to find.
Don't get worked up. Don't get worked up. You're all right. Well, in your improv scene, you could find something that's better than a MacGuffin too, like a real thing. But if you have a quest, go on it. That makes a decent story because then you can follow it. We'll have more storytelling techniques to get into storytelling in future videos. However, something to be aware of, which we see a lot with beginner improvisers, and I hates it, is when you set it up, we have a quest, to go get this thing. And then somebody comes and solves your problem right then and there.
Ding dong, widget salesman.
Yep, it's a widget salesman. It's like, I just set this up that I have to go and do it, and then somebody came in and fixed it. That is not a story. You got to let people suffer.
I imagine, well, we've had it happen to us a number of times. I'm sure that you've probably had it happen too. It's frustrating because you're all ready to go after it. And it's like an example that I use is The Wizard of Oz. Dorothy lands in Oz, and as we find out at the end of the movie, she had the power, once she got the ruby red slippers, to return home at any time. So the beginning of the movie, you know, Glinda shows up. Oh yes, you can go home now. Get away.
Yes.
And nothing is learned and no story is told.
Yeah. The end.
There they are, and there they'll stay.
There's no place like home.
A 10-minute movie.
Yeah. The Scarecrow spends the rest of his days having his eyes plucked out by crows, and the Tinsman rusts into a pile of nothingness.
Cowardly Lion actually eats his young.
Yeah. It's a sad. He still does that after the end of the movie, but...
Yeah. But then it was too early. He got indigestion.
Yeah.
But, you know, there is a quest, and you have to suffer and find your way along. So tell the story.
The nice thing about a quest is, even if you're playing a game like What Happens Next, where the audience can really mess you up, you can still manage to follow that thread of the quest.
Yeah. So even within a game.
New choice, anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And forward, reverse. Why not?
Yeah.
You could still have a more decent story, something that has a little more meat on it. Now, this won't happen every single time. We know it's improv. You may be trying and it just didn't pan out that one time. That's all right.
Yeah, that's why these are general guidelines.
Yeah, so to improve your improv, to add that E, try to go for more storytelling, even in your gamey scenes. Gamey scenes.
And when you're, what I like to do is, when you've finished a scene, look at the scene and try and, like you said, tell what the story is, and also look at it from the perspective of, if this story had been a book, a TV show, a movie, would you have watched it or read it and enjoyed it? Would you tell other people about it? If not, well, then things can be improved. You can tweak it.
Now, there was one thing that the Upright Citizens Brigade in their book said that they're not into storytelling.
Yeah, they said that wasn't important to
specifically.
them.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, there's two things about that. One is that maybe you have some weird experimental group and you just don't want things to connect. That's up to you. But we watched UCB. There's connected.
They've got story.
They've got story. Even though they said it wasn't important to them.
It may not
They
be
got
their
it.
prime focus,
Yeah.
and it may not be their goal, because their goal, according to their Upright Citizens Brigade comedy manual, they say their goal is to find the game of the scene, which we'll talk about another time, I'm sure. And that's great. But it's interesting because while they're finding the game of the scene, they also find story in there, whether on purpose or inadvertently. It shows up.
Yeah. So when you get really good at it, it will come more and more often and more easily. So, you know, watch your favorite TV shows and movies and read for a change, and
Pick up a book.
see what the plots are. What is the story? What's the theme to it? Who are the characters? And we know once you get on stage, that could all just fall out of your head. However, the more you try and the more you think about it, the better a chance you have.
Yeah, you create that muscle memory.
Yeah.
That mental muscle memory.
Deltoid and a bicep.
And if you're looking for more tips and guidelines on how to improve your storytelling, you can pick up The 5 Elements of Improv. That's our book.
Ooh.
It's on Amazon. It's in paperback, full of words. You can also get it in Kindle, and we will eventually be doing an audiobook of it, but that's going to take a while because it's a long book. But one of the elements itself is story, so you can get a lot of good guidelines there from it.
And we'll make more of these.
We will. Keep an eye out. We're looking to get at least one of these up a week. So, thank you for watching. We hope you learned something from it. If you have any more ideas on stories, please feel free to comment down in the down there in the in the comment section. Please like the video and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Yes.
We're going to try and set up a Patreon. Patreon has changed since I last looked at it ages ago, and I have to look it up. But also, especially now during the coronavirus plague, all of, and I'm sure you have this problem too, all of our venues have closed down. Theaters, schools, libraries, and stuff. So
it's forced us to do this, which we've always wanted to do.
Yeah. We're self-quarantined, so we built a studio in our dining room. And we're starting. So, for now, please, you can click on or you can scan the Venmo code that's here if you feel like giving us a tip.
Or just type a tip.
Monetary tip. Ha!
Ha!
I will also put out the PayPal.me link if you trust that more. They're both PayPal companies, so they're perfectly safe. But if you can support us, we would appreciate it. That way we can keep doing this. If you are in a situation where you either don't want to or you can't, that's cool too. We put this up for you so you can
give us a thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up and help take your improv to the next level. So, I'm Andy.
I'm Karen.
And this is Defiant Monkey Improv. Thanks for watching.